Hello, we go live now to Russia as the BRICS members, heads of states, addressed the summit. Let's see.
Innovative and effective mechanisms for financing development and holistic mechanisms ensuring the sustainable management of the developing countries' debt. Honorable participants, I would like to also to note that in last June, Egypt hosted the first international forum of the new development bank. The forum was designed to introduce the bank transactions and the support it provides to both the public and private sectors and discuss the prospects of future cooperation among the BRICS member states. This comes within our faith of the key role assumed by the new development bank for providing concessional financing, supporting the execution of developmental projects in developing countries, notably in the sectors of transportation, clean energy, digital infrastructure, and urban development. Majesties and Excellencies, the expansion of BRICS grouping early this year reflects the grouping's nation's attention to strengthening multilateral cooperation and raising the voice and interests of the developing countries in various international and regional fora. Based on such, Egypt emphasizes its support towards bolstering consultation and coordination among the BRICS nations and intensifying cooperation in face of common international challenges, notably climate change, access to concessional financing, food security, upsurging rates of poverty and hunger, and the expansion of the digital and the knowledge gap. Egypt equally asserts the importance for advancing cooperation frameworks in financial settlements in local currencies, investment of relative advantages of the grouping's nations to launch common economic investment and developmental projects, particularly in the fields of agriculture, industry, digital transformation, and new and renewable energy. Further to our support to the key role of BRICS Business Council, the bloc's businesswomen alliances in scaling up cooperation between the private sector and entrepreneurs in the member states as major partners in the efforts of realization of sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude my speech, I would like anew to confirm Egypt's commitment to the principles and pivots of BRICS action, as well as its earnestness to promoting cooperation among its states, contributing to the optimization of its role in instilling security and stability, increasing the global economic growth, and attaining sustainable development goals. Thank you. Peace be upon you. May Allah's blessing shower you.
Thank you, distinguished Mr. President, and thank you first and foremost for what we have discussed outside. We've discussed the situation in the region. You briefed us in greater detail about that. And now we have online President of Brazil. And it's my pleasure to pass the floor to Mr. Da Silva. You have the floor, Your Excellency.
Presidente Vladimir Putin,
Your Excellency,
eu quero lhe dar os parabéns
Vladimir Putin,
por
I
essa
would like to
exitosa reunião dos
congratulate you
BRICS que
for
está
this
sendo realizada nesses
successful
dias.
BRICS meeting which is being held these years.
Sem estar pessoalmente em Kazan,
Even though I'm not
quero
in
registrar
Kazan
minha
in person, I
satisfação
would like to
em me
acknowledge
dirigir aos
how
companheiros do
pleased
BRICS.
I am to be
Quero
addressing my
agradecer o
BRICS
apoio
brothers
que
and
os
sisters. I
membros
would
do
like to
grupo têm
thank
estendido
the
à
group
presidência
members
brasileira
for
do
their
G20.
support in
Seu respaldo
Brazil's
foi
presidency of the
fundamental
G20.
para
Your support
avançar
has
em
been crucial to
iniciativas que são
advance
cruciais
essential
para a
initiatives
redução
for
das
reducing
desigualdades,
inequalities
como a
such as
taxação de
taxing the
super-ricos.
super rich.
Nossos países
Our
implementaram nas
countries
últimas
have
décadas
implemented
políticas sociais
successful
exitosas
social
que podem
policies that can
servir de
serve as an
exemplo
example for
para
the
o
rest
resto
of
do
the
mundo.
world in recent
A Aliança
years.
Global
The
contra a
Global
Fome e a
Alliance Against
Pobreza
Hunger and
já
Poverty
está em fase
is
avançada
already
de
in an
adesões.
advanced stage of
Convido
membership.
todos
I
a
invite
se tomar a
everyone to
iniciativa
join
que
the
nasceu no
initiative
G20,
which was born
mas
at the
está
G20
aberta
but is
a
open
outros
to
participantes.
other
O
participants.
BRICS é ator
BRICS is an
incontornável
essential
no
player
enfrentamento
in
da mudança do
tackling
clima.
climate change.
Não há
There is no
dúvida
doubt that
de
the
que a maior
greatest
responsabilidade
responsibility
recai sobre os
lies
países
with
ricos,
rich countries
cujo
whose
histórico de
emissions
emissões
record has
culminou na crise
culminated in the
climática
climate
que
crisis
nos
that
aflige
afflicts
hoje.
us today.
É
It is
preciso ir além
necessary
dos
to
100
go
bilhões
beyond the
anuais
100
prometidos
billion
e não
promised
cumpridos, e
annually and
fortalecer
not
medidas de
fulfilled, and
monitoramento
strengthen
dos
measures to
compromissos
monitor the
assumidos.
commitments made.
Os dados da
Scientific
ciência exprimem
data
sentido de
expresses
urgência
an
sem
unprecedented
precedentes.
sense
O
of
planeta
urgency.
é
The
só
planet is
e seu futuro
one,
depende
and
da
its
ação
future
coletiva.
depends on
Também
collective
cabe
action.
aos países
It is
emergentes
also up to
fazer
emerging
sua
countries to
parte
do their
para
part
limitar
to
o
limit the
aumento da
rise in
temperatura
global
global
temperature
a
to
1,5 graus.
1.5
Na
degrees. At
COP30 em Belém,
COP30 G20 in Berlin, together we will show that it is possible to reconcile greater ambition in our nationally determined contributions with the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. In the Brazilian BRICS presidency, we want to reaffirm the bloc's vocation in the fight for a multipolar world and for less asymmetrical relations between countries. We cannot accept the imposition of apartheid in access to vaccines and medicines, as occurred during the pandemic, nor in the development of artificial intelligence, which is on its way to becoming a privilege of few. We need to strengthen our technological capabilities and encourage the adoption of non-exclusive multilateral frameworks in which the voice of governments prevails over private interests. BRICS has been responsible for a significant portion of global economic growth in recent decades. Together, we are over 3.6 billion people who are part of dynamic markets with high social mobility. We represent 36% of global GDP by purchasing power parity. We have 72% of the planet's rare earths, 75% of the manganese, and 50% of the graphite. However, financial flows continue to flow to rich nations. It is a Marshall Plan in reverse, in which emerging and developing economies finance the developed world. BRICS initiatives and institutions break with this logic. Business Council actions have contributed to expanding trade between us. Brazilian exports to BRICS countries grew 12-fold between 2003 and 2023. BRICS is currently the origin of almost a third of Brazil's imports. The Women's Business Alliance is creating networks to foster women's economic empowerment and combating persistent gender inequality through the Interbank cooperation mechanism. Our national development banks will establish credit lines in local currencies, which will reduce transaction costs for small and medium-sized enterprises. The new development bank, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, has invested in the infrastructure needed to strengthen our economies and promote a just and sovereign transition. Under the leadership of Sister Dilma Rousseff, the NDB currently has a portfolio of almost 100 projects, financing in the order of $33 billion. It was designed to succeed where the Bretton Woods institutions continue to fail. Rather than offering programs that impose conditionalities, the NDB finances projects aligned with national priorities. Rather than furthering disparities, its governance is based on equal voting. Now is the time to move forward with creating alternative payment methods for transactions between our countries. It's not about replacing our currencies, but we need to work to ensure that the multipolar order we desire is reflected in the international financial system. This discussion needs to be approached seriously, cautiously, and with technical solidity, but it cannot be postponed any further. Many insist on dividing the world into friends and enemies. But the most vulnerable are not interested in simplistic dichotomies. What they want is plenty of food, decent work, and quality, universally accessible public schools and hospitals. It is a healthy environment without climate events that put its survival at risk. It is a life of peace without weapons that victimize innocent people. As President Erdogan said at the UN General Assembly, Gaza has become the world's largest cemetery for children and women in the world. This folly is now spreading to the West Bank and Lebanon. Avoiding escalation and initiating peace negotiations is also crucial in the conflict in Ukraine. as we have two wars with the potential to become global, it is essential to restore our ability to work together towards common goals. Therefore, the motto of the Brazilian presidency will be strengthening cooperation in the Global South for more inclusive and sustainable governance. I hope, my brothers and sisters, to see you at the next summit for us to build another chapter of our common history. Thank you very much, President Putin, and thank you, brothers and sisters in Kazan.
Большое спасибо, господин президент. Бразилия действительно принимает от нас председательство БРИКС. Мы сделаем со своей стороны все возможное для того, чтобы поддержать вас и чтобы эта передача была эффективной. Уверены, что лидерство БРИКС переходит в надежный. Спасибо большое. И позвольте передать слово премьер-министру Эфиопии.
Excellency Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished delegates, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to President Vladimir Putin for hosting the 16th BRICS Summit. This gathering represents hope in our pursuit of effective multilateralism to address the pressing global challenges we face today. As the newest member of the BRICS family, Ethiopia is prepared to engage constructively in fostering a multilateralism that serves both developed and developing nations, anchored in the principle of equity. Our world is rapidly evolving with a multitude of crises that demands wisdom and thoughtful approach. Excellencies, it is crucial to acknowledge that economic growth in developing countries is often challenged by unfair global financial systems. The imbalances in our global economic framework are driving rising inequality, inflation, and unemployment, making collective efforts more urgent than ever. The calls for climate action and climate finance continue to be ignored even as the crisis deepens. In the middle of these challenges, however, I see a tremendous opportunity in BRICS. With its collective voice representing nearly half of the global population and over a third of global GDP, BRICS has the potential to be a transformative force for a more equitable world order. Excellencies, intra-BRICS trade, investment, and tourism can ignite economic growth that not only benefits our member states, but also serves as a model for cooperation and solidarity in addressing global challenges. We must leverage our diverse economies and high growth potential to achieve tangible economic gains that uplift our people. Enhancing cooperation in the development of artificial intelligence is also essential. I strongly support the proposal made both by President Putin and President Xi on this matter. Furthermore, the expedited consideration of membership requests to the new development bank will serve to enhance alternative financing, particularly for infrastructure projects that are crucial to our development. I believe BRICS is uniquely positioned to galvanize support for a fair and representative multilateralism. Together, we can champion reforms that address the concerns of developing nations and ensure that their voices are heard on the global stage. Ethiopia, in particular, wishes to emphasize that the reform of the UN Security Council deserves our attention. We have confidence that the countries at this summit will prioritize Africa's representation in the UN Security Council, adhering to the common African position. This is not just about representation. It is about justice, equity, and ensuring that all nations can contribute to global governance. Mr. President, Excellencies, Ethiopia exemplifies the practical relevance of our partnership, embodying the hope and potential that BRICS represents. Our nation, now the third largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa, is endowed with a young and dynamic workforce, vast arable land, and abundant renewable energy resources. These assets present unparalleled opportunities for investment and trade, and our ongoing macroeconomic reforms have unlocked new avenues for growth. Our Green Legacy Initiative, which mobilized our citizens to plant 40 billion seedlings in 6 years, stands as a testament to our commitment to sustainable and climate-resilient economic growth. Ethiopia is equally committed to ensuring food security, having become the largest wheat producer in Africa through enhanced productivity. Our investments in smart cities and tourism development highlight our cultural and historical richness, drawing visitors from around the globe. Therefore, I renew my call for strong intra-BRICS economic cooperation across sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, energy, tourism, and importantly, artificial intelligence. As I conclude, let me assure you, Excellencies, of Ethiopia's unwavering commitment to actively participate in realizing our shared vision for a brighter future. Let us ensure that our partnership not only addresses our immediate challenges, but also lays the groundwork for a more equitable world. I thank you.
Спасибо большое, уважаемый господин премьер-министр.
Thank you,
за то, что обратили
distinguished
еще
Prime
раз
Minister.
внимание на наши
You
приоритеты.
attracted
И я
our
передаю
attention
слово
to our
премьер-министру
priorities. Now I
Республики
pass the
Индия,
floor
господину
to the
Нарендра
Prime
Моди.
Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi.
Your Highness, Excellencies,
Your Highness,
Ladies and
Excellencies,
gentlemen.
ladies and gentlemen,
16वें ब्रिक्स समिट के शानदार आयोजन के लिए
congratulations
पुतिन को
to President
हार्दिक
Putin
बधाई देता हूं
for the excellent organization of the
और ब्रिक्स से
16th
जुड़े नए
BRICS
साथियों का भी
Summit.
एक बार फिर से
And once
हार्दिक
again,
स्वागत करता
a
हूं
warm welcome to all our
नए
new friends
स्वरूप में
who have joined BRICS.
ब्रिक्स विश्व की
In its new
40%
expanded
मानवता
formation,
और
BRICS
लगभग
accounts for
30%
40% of the
अर्थव्यवस्था
world's
का
humanity and
प्रतिनिधित्व
about
करता है
30% of the global
पिछले
economy.
लगभग 2 दशकों में
In the last nearly 2
ब्रिक्स ने
decades,
अनेक
BRICS
उपलब्धियां
has
हासिल
achieved
की हैं
many milestones.
मुझे विश्वास है
I'm confident
कि आने वाले समय में
that in the
यह
times to
संगठन
come
वैश्विक
this
चुनौतियों का
organization
सामना करने के लिए
will
और
emerge
अधिक
as a more
प्रभावी माध्यम बन
effective
करके
medium to
उभरेगा
face global challenges.
मैं न्यू डेवलपमेंट बैंक के
Friends,
अध्यक्ष
I would also like
हर
to
एक्सेलेंसी
convey
दिल्मा रुसेफ का
warm
अभिनंदन करता हूं
greetings to Her Excellency
पिछले
Dilma
10 वर्षों
Rousseff,
में
President of the New
यह
Development
बैंक
Bank. In the
ग्लोबल
last
साउथ
10
के देशों के
years,
विकास के
this
लिए
bank has emerged
महत्वपूर्ण विकल्प के रूप
as an
में
important
उभर
option
रहा है
for the development needs of the
भारत
countries
के
of the global south.
गिफ्ट सिटी के साथ साथ
With the
अफ्रीका
opening of GIFT
तथा रूस में
or Gujarat
रीजनल
International
सेंटर्स के
Finance
खुलने
Tech
से
City in India,
इस बैंक की
as well as
गतिविधियों को
regional
बल
centers in
मिला है
Africa and Russia,
और
have
लगभग
boosted the activities
35
of this
बिलियन डॉलर के
bank.
डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स सैंक्शन किए गए
And development projects worth
एनडीबी
about
को
$35 billion have
डिमांड
been
ड्रिवन सिद्धांत
sanctioned.
पर काम
NDB
करते
indeed
रहना
should
चाहिए
continue to work on the
और
basis
बैंक का
of the
विस्तार करते हुए
demand-driven principle.
लॉन्ग टर्म
And
फाइनेंशियल
while
सस्टेनेबिलिटी
expanding the bank,
हेल्दी
ensuring
क्रेडिट रेटिंग
long-term financial
और मार्केट
sustainability,
एक्सेस
healthy
सुनिश्चित
credit
करने पर
rating and market
प्राथमिकता
access
रहनी
should
चाहिए
remain a priority.
फ्रेंड्स नए
Friends,
स्वरूप में
in its new
BRICS
expanded format,
$30 trillion से भी ज्यादा
BRICS has
बड़ी
emerged
इकोनॉमी
as an
है।
economy of more
हमारे
than
आर्थिक सहयोग
$30
को बढ़ाने में
trillion.
ब्रिक्स
The
बिजनेस
BRICS
काउंसिल
Business
और
Council
ब्रिक्स
and
विमेन
the
बिजनेस
BRICS
अलायंस
Women
की
Business Alliance
विशेष भूमिका
have
रही
played
है।
a special
इस
role
वर्ष
in
ब्रिक्स
increasing
के
our
अंदर
economic cooperation.
WTO रिफॉर्म्स,
This year, the
ट्रेड फैसिलिटेशन
The
इन
consensus
एग्रीकल्चर,
reached within BRICS on
रेजिलिएंट
WTO
सप्लाई चेन्स,
reforms, trade
ई-कॉमर्स
facilitation in
और
agriculture,
स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन को
resilient
लेकर
supply chains,
जो सहमति बनी
e-commerce
है
and special
उससे
economic
हमारे
zones
आर्थिक सहयोग
will
को
strengthen
बल मिलेगा।
our economic
इन सब
cooperation.
पहलों के बीच
Amidst
हमें
all these
स्मॉल और मीडियम
initiatives,
स्केल
we should
इंडस्ट्री
also
के हितों पर भी
focus on
फोकस
the
करना
interests
चाहिए।
of small and
मुझे
medium
खुशी है
scale
कि
industries.
2021 में
I'm
भारत
pleased
की अध्यक्षता के
that
दौरान
the
प्रस्तावित
BRICS
ब्रिक्स
Startup
स्टार्टअप
Forum
फोरम
proposed
इस
during
वर्ष
India's
लॉन्च
presidency
किया
in
जाएगा।
2021 will
भारत
be
द्वारा
launched
दिया
this
गया
year.
रेलवे रिसर्च नेटवर्क
The
का
Railway and Research
इनिशिएटिव भी
Network initiative
ब्रिक्स
taken by
देशों के
India
बीच
is also
लॉजिस्टिक
playing
और
an
सप्लाई चेन
important
कनेक्टिविटी
role
बढ़ाने
in
में
increasing
अहम
logistics and
भूमिका
supply chain
निभा
connectivity
रहा है।
among
इस
BRICS
साल
countries.
ब्रिक्स देशों
This
में
year,
यूनिडो के साथ मिलकर
the
इंडस्ट्री
consensus
4.0 के
reached
लिए
by BRICS
स्किल्ड
countries
वर्कफोर्स तैयार
in
करने पर
collaboration with
बनी
UNIDO
सहमति
to prepare a
बहुत ही
skilled
महत्वपूर्ण है।
workforce for Industry
2022 में
4.0
लॉन्च किया
is
गया
quite significant.
ब्रिक्स वैक्सीन
The BRICS
R&D
Vaccine
सेंटर
R&D
सभी
Center
देशों
launched
की
in
स्वास्थ्य सुरक्षा
2022 is
बढ़ाने में
helping increase
मदद कर
health
रहा है।
security in all the
हमें
countries.
डिजिटल हेल्थ में
We would be
भारत का
happy
सफल अनुभव
to share
ब्रिक्स
India's
पार्टनर्स के साथ
successful experience
साझा
in
करने
digital
में
health with
खुशी
BRICS
होगी।
partners.
फ्रेंड्स,
Friends,
क्लाइमेट चेंज
climate
हमारी
change
साझी प्राथमिकता
has
का
been a
विषय रहा
subject
है।
of our common
रूस की
priority.
अध्यक्षता में ब्रिक्स
We
ओपन
welcome
कार्बन
the
मार्केट पार्टनरशिप के
consensus
लिए
reached
बनी सहमति का
for the BRICS
स्वागत
open
करता है।
carbon market
भारत में
partnership
भी
under Russia's
green growth,
presidency. In
क्लाइमेट
India too,
रेजिलिएंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर
special
और
emphasis
ग्रीन
is
ट्रांजिशन
being laid on
पर
green
विशेष रूप
growth,
से
climate
बल दिया
resilient
जा रहा है।
infrastructure and green
इंटरनेशनल सोलर
transition.
अलायंस, कोalition
Indeed,
for
India has
disaster
taken up several
resilient
initiatives
infrastructure,
like the International Solar
मिशन
Alliance,
लाइफ
Coalition
यानी
for Disaster
lifestyle for
Resilient
environment,
Infrastructure, Mission
एक
Life,
पेड़
that is Lifestyle
माँ के
for
नाम
Environment,
जैसे
एक
इनिशिएटिव
पेड़ माँ के
लिए
नाम
गए
or a
हैं।
tree in the name of your
पिछले
mother.
वर्ष
Last year,
COP28 के
during
दौरान हमने
COP28,
ग्रीन
we
क्रेडिट जैसे
started an important
महत्वपूर्ण पहल
initiative
की
called Green
शुरुआत की।
Credit.
मैं ब्रिक्स पार्टनर्स
I
को
invite
इन
BRICS
इनिशिएटिव से
partners
जुड़ने के लिए
to join these
आमंत्रित करता हूँ।
initiatives.
ब्रिक्स के सभी देशों में
Special
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के
emphasis is
निर्माण
being
पर
laid on the construction
विशेष
of
रूप से
infrastructure
बल
in
दिया जा
all
रहा
BRICS
है।
countries.
भारत में मल्टी मॉडल
In India,
कनेक्टिविटी
we have
को
established a
तेजी से
digital
बढ़ाने के लिए
platform
हमने
called
गति
the
शक्ति
Gati
पोर्टल
Shakti
बनाया
portal
है।
to
इससे
rapidly expand
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर विकास
multimodal
के लिए
connectivity.
इंटीग्रेटेड प्लानिंग और
This has
इम्प्लीमेंटेशन
helped in
में मदद
integrated
मिली है
infrastructure
और लॉजिस्टिक
development,
कॉस्ट
planning
कम
and
हुई है।
implementation and
हमारे
has
अनुभव
reduced
आप सभी के
logistic
साथ साझा
costs.
करने में
We will be
हमें
happy to share
खुशी
our
होगी।
experiences with all of
Friends,
you. Friends,
ब्रिक्स देशों के बीच
we welcome
फाइनेंशियल इंटीग्रेशन
efforts
बढ़ाने
to
के लिए
increase financial
प्रयासों का
integration
हम
among
स्वागत
BRICS
करते हैं।
countries.
लोकल करेंसीज में व्यापार
Trade in
और
local
सुगम रूप से
currencies
क्रॉस बॉर्डर
and smooth
पेमेंट से
cross-border
हमारा आर्थिक
payments
सहयोग
will strengthen our
सुदृढ़
economic
होगा।
cooperation.
भारत द्वारा बनाया गया
The
यूनिफाइड
Unified
पेमेंट्स
Payments
इंटरफेस
Interface,
यानी यूपीआई
UPI,
भारत की
developed
एक
by
बहुत
India,
बड़ी
is a huge
सक्सेस
success
स्टोरी है।
story,
इसे कई
and it
देशों
has
में
been adopted
अपनाया गया
in
है।
many countries.
पिछले वर्ष
Last year,
हिज हाइनेस
together with
शेख
His
मोहम्मद
Highness
के साथ
Sheikh
मिलकर
Mohammed,
हमने
it
इसे
was also
यूएई
launched
में भी
in the
लॉन्च किया।
UAE.
अन्य ब्रिक्स देशों के साथ भी
We are also
इसमें
willing to
सहयोग
cooperate with
किया जा
other
सकता
BRICS
है।
countries
Friends,
in this area.
भारत
Friends,
ब्रिक्स के अंतर्गत सहयोग
India
बढ़ाने के
is
लिए
fully committed to
पूरी तरह
increasing
से
cooperation
प्रतिबद्ध
under
है।
BRICS.
हमारी विविधता
Our strong
और
belief in our
मल्टीपोलैरिटी में
diversity and
हमारा दृढ़
multipolarity
विश्वास
is our
हमारी
strength.
ताकत है। हमारी यही
And the
ताकत
strength of ours
और
and
मानवता
our
में
shared belief
साझा
in
विश्वास
humanity will help in giving a meaningful shape to a prosperous and a bright future for the generations to come. I thank everyone for today's very important and valuable discussions. As the next president of BRICS, I extend my heartfelt best wishes to President Lula. India will give its full support for the success of your BRICS presidency. Once again, many thanks to President Putin and all the leaders.
Thank you very much, distinguished Prime Minister. We all talk about the need to ensure high rates of economic growth, and you managed to do that. We congratulate you on these results. 7.5% of GDP growth is an example for many of us. And thank you for your initiatives. Thank you. And now, please, I give the floor to the President of Iran.
In the name of God, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Your Excellency, Mr. Vladimir Putin, the Honorable President of the Russian Federation, distinguished heads of BRICS member states, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today we have convened the first summit meeting of the new or otherwise expanded BRICS, while many of the hopes for a more just, secure and prosperous world in the post-Cold War era have not been afforded the opportunity to be fulfilled, as aspirations for dominance and unilateralism continue to threaten, like a deadly plague, the foundations of global peace and cooperation. Over the 3 decades since the collapse of the bipolar system, it has become abundantly clear that the Western powers have it that peace, democracy, prosperity and development can only be achieved through the pathways they define and assign. The upshot of this monopolistic worldview thus far has been but a surge in violence, war and terrorism on the one hand, and unprecedented recourse to economic and political sanctions on the other. According to statistics, the United States alone has imposed 3 times as many sanctions on other countries of the world in the past 2 years than the entire stretch of the last decade. The flip side of the coin of Western unilateralism has been the outbreak of various wars, the most oppressive and excruciating of which are currently unfolding in the occupied Palestine and Lebanon. The formation, continuance and expansion of BRICS over the past 15 years have proffered the countries and the global community an opportunity to not tether their destinies to the sole dictates of Western powers, and to pave ways for broader participation of all emerging powers in global economic governance. In the early years following the establishment of BRICS, or the new payment systems independent of dollar need be strengthened. The independent countries can no longer indemnify the United States for its unsound financial policies or its failure to combat systemic corruption in its financial sector. The world today faces numerous challenges, including food security, climate change, debt crises, the North-South divide, to name a few. Addressing these issues, which have disproportionately exposed the developing countries and the global South to tension and harm, must go through the active participation of these nations. The BRICS Alliance ought to pursue with higher vigor its cause of making the voices of the unheard echo throughout the global community and effectively follow up on its dialogue mechanisms with other countries. We believe in BRICS ideals of reforming global governance, multilateralism, promoting peace, security, and inclusive economic growth, and fostering transparency and democracy in global financial institutions. For its part, the Islamic Republic of Iran will make every effort to ensure that BRICS, aloof from politicization and geopolitical conflicts, successfully navigates the tasks of reforming the global economic governance structure and creating alternative opportunities for the development and prosperity of the global South. With the inclusion of new members, BRICS institutions such as the new Development Bank and the Contingency Reserve Arrangement ought to assume greater responsibility for financing member countries' projects and addressing payment imbalances. Guided by the core principles of sound competition and mutual cooperation, each BRICS member should view the progress and development of other members as its own. BRICS is not meant to serve as merely a conversation club. Its decisions should have the backing of execution guarantees and anticipation of apt tools that can help them materialize. The growth of the level of economic cooperation, including the volume of investment and mutual trade among BRICS members, can be used as a benchmark to annually assess the degree of BRICS' success or failure. To this end, it is imperative that a center for collecting, aggregating, and evaluating member states' economic data be established. Such a center can pursue multiple objectives, from collecting customs data, and it can to creating tracking and tracing systems for products, establishing a common digital platform for registering and exchanging tax data, and shared data platforms for financial and commercial analysis using data mining and artificial intelligence technologies. It can help operate transit routes which will reduce delivery delays, and these are topics that merit more attention in BRICS decision-making. As I conclude, I should like to express my appreciation to the people and government of Russia for organizing this summit and for having taken on the weighty responsibility of presiding over BRICS in 2024. Once again, I would like to underline that achieving widespread and global economic prosperity and development goes through universal peace and security. Yet, what we are witnessing today in Palestine and Lebanon is the deepening of the footing of war and violence through disregard for the fundamental rights of the peoples, who want nothing more than the right to sovereignty over their ancestral lands. The continuation of the ongoing situation will indubitably continue to push the world closer to the risk of widespread insecurity and war. Therefore, I call on all the distinguished members of this valuable and influential BRICS to marshal all their collective and individual capacities to introduce change to the situation, to put an end to war in Gaza and Lebanon, and to reduce tensions in our region. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned very important things, namely, it is our common goal to ensure broad cooperation in the interests of the global majority. This is why we are all here, and this is why we work. Thank you very much. Now I give the floor to the President of South Africa, please.
Your Excellency, President Vladimir Putin, Your Excellencies, fellow BRICS leaders, honorable ministers, excellencies, and ladies and gentlemen, allow me to start by thanking President Putin and the people of Russia for hosting this, the 16th BRICS Summit in this beautiful city of Kazan. It is fitting that we hold the BRICS Summit in a city that is so rich in heritage and culture as we embrace this new chapter in BRICS as an expanded family of countries equally rich in history, culture, and capability. Our story as the BRICS countries is a story of solidarity, of mutual respect and mutual benefit. BRICS is an inclusive formation that has the ability to change the trajectory of the global South. To do this, we must realize the full potential of our economic partnership to ensure sustainable development for all and not just for some. We must undertake bold steps towards a mutual, shared, and equitable prosperity for all. Like most of the world, South Africa desires the smooth operation of supply chains, trade, tourism, and financial flows free from external influence in a multipolar world. Working together, the BRICS family has an important role in addressing the key challenges of the Global South in partnership with like-minded emerging market economies. We look forward to the report that will be given by our finance ministers and central bank governors on the use of local currencies in international trade and financial transactions between BRICS members and their trading partners. A few days ago, the BRICS business entities gathered in Moscow under the stewardship of the BRICS Business Council to explore tangible trade opportunities between our countries. For South Africa, these endeavors, which are focused on practical results, are critical in addressing our country's central national priority of inclusive economic growth. For us, inclusive growth means, amongst other things, prioritizing women-led businesses. In this regard, we acknowledge the diligent work of the BRICS Women's Business Alliance to unlock economic value between the BRICS countries for the development, growth, and sustainability of women-owned businesses. As we seek sustainable development solutions, we must acknowledge the challenges posed by climate change. We must acknowledge the devastating impact on lives and livelihoods of our current climate trajectory. As South Africa, we remain committed to a just transition to a low-carbon economy. We are committed to the reduction of global emissions, guided by the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities. While countries with developing economies remain severely impacted by climate change, they have contributed the least to the current climate crisis that the world is experiencing. It is therefore vital that industrialized nations honor their climate commitments and ensure a just and equitable transition. It is essential that climate actions do not deepen global inequality or stifle the developmental aspirations of the countries in the global south. To achieve the objectives of the BRICS Strategy for Economic Partnership 2025, we must further explore pathways to unlock opportunities and address challenges confronted by micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises that operate in BRICS countries. We must intensify cooperation amongst BRICS members by launching common development programs in the fields of exports, industrial cooperation, and technology exchange. We have called for the recalibration of trade rules to enable industrialization. The WTO must be reformed. We must enhance beneficiation of mineral endowments of BRICS countries closest to the source where these minerals are produced. This is important for development and for the advancement of our decarbonization goals. The unique role that is played by the new development bank as a multinational development bank is pivotal to the development aspirations of our group and emerging markets and developing economies at large. We commend the work that is being done and progress that is being achieved by the new development bank under the excellent leadership of our dearest sister, Dilma Rousseff. It is one of the finest examples of the value of the BRICS group because it is supporting the growth and development of countries of the global south. And this is a great strength. And as we enhance the development of these countries, we also need to focus on peace and security in the world. The conflicts that continue to rage in the world are of great concern to us. The continuing conflict in Gaza, the Middle East, resulting in the death of so many Palestinians, is a matter of great concern. We must continue to insist that there should be a ceasefire with immediate effect and that there should also be recognition for the self-determination of the Palestinians. We have achieved progress on a number of areas, and this level of progress that we have achieved must encourage us and inspire us to do more. And it must also make BRICS to become an even more effective instrument for global peace and for global progress at all levels, economic and otherwise. I thank you.
Thank you
very much, Mr. President. Thank you for pointing out the challenges for the global south. We all agree that we need to fight against climate change, but we cannot agree with you that no one should be allowed to use this for their own selfish interests or interests of certain groups. You said that rightfully. Thank you very much for that. And now I would like to give the floor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the United Arab Emirates.
Excellency President Vladimir Putin, the President of Federal Russia, Excellencies, we meet today at a historic moment that requires us all to think about the future in a different manner. We don't meet here for only dealing with the current challenges, yet to forge a roadmap for a brighter, sustainable future, fulfilling the aspirations of our populations. What is distinguishing about this juncture that the sustainability shapes the future of the upcoming economy. It has been clear that economic growth is no longer associated with the traditional patterns, yet on our potentialities and capabilities for innovation and the adoption of new technologies, in addition to rethinking of how to tap the current opportunities. Our economy today is in need of new drivers, and to think beyond current challenges and explore new solutions that would forge the global scene in a different manner that ensures growth, prosperity on one hand, and sustainability and fairness on the other hand. Ladies and gentlemen, UAE believes that the modern economy must be resilient, diversified, and based on innovation. Over the past decades, we built an economy based on diversification and openness to the world. Nonetheless, we realize that success is not only on present, but however it rests on the future and adoption of new approaches serving our interests and the interests of our population and forthcoming generations. Egypt takes pride that it has realized specific shifts in different sectors like aviation, technology, and logistics, as it hosts as well a number of the prominent strategic events at the international level, representing basic platforms for the enhancement of the international economic dialogue, especially pertinent to green and sustainable economy. The green economy represents today one of the basic anchors and pillars for the attainment of sustainable development. In the UAE, we see that such a diversified economy is an opportunity for strengthening economic growth. UAE invested in the renewable energy, wind energy, and other sources of energy, and we hope to enhance the capacity of the energy, natural energy, and the green economy is part of our vision for a sustainable future that respects the environment. Excellencies, through the comprehensive economic partnership, SIBA, UAE strengthens its initiatives and creates new economic opportunities. Such conventions are major pillars in our external economic policies. It allows us to open new markets and increases our economic competitiveness in the global markets. They also enhance our cooperation with our partnerships in the interest of the benefit of everybody. In UAE, we believe that the developmental partnership is the key to sustainable development, and we endeavor to expand such partnerships, and we also increasingly focus on the economies which contribute to green economy. Ladies and gentlemen, in the conclusion of our today's meeting, chaired by Excellency President Vladimir Putin, we assert that the joint communique that will be issued would be a very important step to our strengthening our collaboration and advancing and moving forward towards facing the future collaboration and achieving our joint goals. Thank you.
Thank you so much. United Arab Emirates are very responsible when it comes to resolution of our common tasks. We have had lots of opportunities to discuss it with the President of the United Arab Emirates, in particular during his most recent visit to Russia. Now I give the floor to President of the New Development Bank, Madam Rousseff.
I would like to salute the President of the Russian Federation, Mr. Vladimir Putin, for his warm welcome and for the excellent organization as the host of the BRICS Summit and for allowing us to come to this magnificent city in a very developed region in Russian, which is the city of Kazan, in the Tatar region. I'd like to greet all the other presidents here in attendance, as well as the heads of delegation and prime ministers. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next few months, important events are going to have an effect on the world economic panorama. After the central bank in the US cut interest rates in mid-September, the world is watching a new cycle where interest rates are being reduced, and once more, friction is provoked and triggered by the predominance of these policies over the rest of the world. The future pace of this interest cuts is completely independent of the trajectory of the work market or inflation in the US. What shows the lack of control that most countries have on its own interest rate trajectory, exchange rate trajectory. In Europe, the economy is frail and other the level the central bank's decision last week of reducing interest rates for the third time this year. Therefore, we can see that there is a strong push for this stilled growth. However, global South countries in Asia, Middle East, Africa, and Latin America, particularly countries in Asia and the Middle East, they have been responsible for the improvement as far as international economic financial conditions of all the peoples. Now, at the geopolitical level, the dramatic situation in Palestine and the Middle East continues to be a core point as far as our concern is concerned, particularly for the fact that the death of children and women has just the one explanation, termination. The complexities of the region, they also affect the transport and international logistics situation. Hence, the complex geopolitical situation is something that is added also to the use of the US dollar as a weapon
propriamente de alteração das condições de vida das populações que afetam também a base do sistema financeiro internacional, que é a confiança e a integridade. Assim sendo, é nesse quadro
Therefore, it is within this scenario that NDB has been developing its activities. The first months of my time in office at NDB, they were very challenging because at that time the bank was undergoing a deterioration of its liquidity situation after 15 months of any public access to raising of funds outside of the bond markets that were very important for the bank. And this happened during the COVID pandemic. Starting in 2023, the NDB started to take measures to overcome these challenges. It identified its real need fund-raising needs and managed to focus its resources going back to the market in April last year, and this return allowed for a better perception as far as risk is concerned in relation to NDB. Since then, the new development bank, the NDB, came back to the market many times, raising funds in RMB, in Hong Kong dollars, in dollars in the Middle East, in USDs, and also rands from South Africa, totaling almost 12 billion in many different operations. Basically speaking, the bank forces a diversification strategy, releasing bonds in the local markets for emissions in local currencies, also extending maturity as well as reducing costs, making the most of its unique position in the Asian and Middle East markets. And thus, we're able to reduce our financing spread in 45 base points for dollar loans we have started to issue within a 5-year maturity, and we are actually expecting to be able to do more. The descending cost trajectory that we've been experiencing shows that the bank is on the right path. Resuming fundraising activities allowed us to make disbursements for hired projects in addition to signing new financing contracts and increase the so-called project pipeline for NDB. Only for the years of 2024 and 2025, we projected a project pipeline from 39 to 40 projects that goes from transport infrastructure, clean energy, energy efficiency, water, sanitation, environmental protection, social and digital infrastructure, totaling almost 10 billion USDs. The accumulated disbursements from the bank have reached $20.6 billion since its creation. The bank has financed 101 investment projects, which has totaled around $35 billion. The new development bank is expecting and wants to put a lot of emphasis in the financing in local currencies, and this is critical to increase our financing capacity, such as our strategy from 2022 to 2026 that establishes the goal of ensuring that 30% of all financing will be done so using currencies from member countries. Up until now, the approval of projects in local currencies from our countries has reached 28.3%. Thus, we are reaching the 30% already, and this is why it is critical for us to promote new technologies, promote new platforms for financing in local currencies. This approach, in addition to being important and ensuring us higher financial sovereignty and ensuring that the finances also reflect the importance of our countries' investments and trade also tries to solve this imbalance created from the cash flows when we take these USDs for them to be expressed in local currencies and the financing of the payment being done in international dollar, because this has been one of the sources that explains the high level of indebtedness of global South countries, because once you raise funds in local currencies, you do away with the need for hedging and you create a protection against the volatility of interest and exchange rates. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the positive results reached by NDB recently have allowed for an important new reduction to be approved for sovereign loans for our member countries. A very long-lasting request from our shareholders, and this is an important fact because by reducing such costs makes the projects better for countries in the global south and also makes the bank more competitive. Another item which is top of our priority list is expanding the number of members, because new members, they reinforce the roles, the bank's role as a platform for cooperation for global south countries. The growing interconnection between us makes it easier for creating a financial infrastructure based on multilateralism and on a multipolar world, and it also boosts this dynamic. In 2023 and 2024, NDB had many formal consultations sent for them to become members of the country, which shows how consolidated the NDB is and how attractive it is for global south nations. In a debate held in the last meeting of the bank governors, we are now finalizing the process for admitting Algeria as a member of the bank. The NDB tried to reach another strategic goal, which is to become a center of knowledge, and thus the bank has promoted relevant discussions about the sustainable development and also the use of currencies from member countries, exploring platforms and technologies to offer more favorable financial conditions for emerging markets and developing countries. It is thus the commitment that the bank has of exploring new, innovative and important financing platforms in local currencies. It has also been very important to share development views and experiences, particularly to share our processes of overcoming energy-related problems, transforming this experience in benefits for member countries. Lastly, I am happy to say that despite the uncertainties and global challenges, the new development bank has moved forward and has shown positive trends in this last period. However, this does not mean that we are pleased with what we have reached. This only makes us capable of striving to reach more and get more. Fulfilling our institutional mandate to the benefit of our member countries means to continue to work to increase our financial capacity, particularly through the financing platforms for local currencies, so that we may have necessary resources to provide for the needs that we know are many, be it in facing inequalities and development, be it in energy transition, be it in the sphere of striving to reach a safer, more stable world for all of us in favor of this more multipolar world. Thank you very much.
Большое спасибо, уважаемая госпожа Росов. Вы сказали, что доллар используется в качестве оружия. Да, действительно, мы видим это так. на самом деле думаю, что это большая ошибка тех, кто это делает, потому что использование доллара, а он является до сих пор важнейшим инструментом в мировых финансах, как средство достижения политических целей, подрывает доверие к этой валюте и снижает его возможности. Но не мы же это делаем, это делают другие люди. Мы не отказываемся, не боремся с долларом. Но если нам не дают с ним работать, что же делать? Мы тогда вынуждены искать другие альтернативы, что и происходит. Стремясь к сотрудничеству, все-таки, мне кажется, должны понимать, что чем дольше мы будем жить и работать по чужим правилам и на чужих платформах, тем дольше продлится этот переход к новой и более справедливой экономической и финансовой системе. И может это сопровождаться большими потрясениями, в том числе и те, которые мы наблюдаем, в частности, на Ближнем Востоке. Но мы еще с коллегами поговорим на этот счет. Спасибо вам большое за вашу работу. И позвольте мне передать слово председателю делового совета БРИКС.
Спасибо, уважаемый Владимир Владимирович, уважаемые главы государств и правительств, уважаемые участники встречи. В текущем году Деловой совет БРИКС продолжил активное продвижение флагманских инициатив, нацеленных на укрепление партнерства БРИКС. Хочу отметить, что в своей работе мы старались, во-первых, сохранить преемственность, повести нашего Делового совета, а во-вторых, дополнить ее новыми актуальными инициативами в соответствии с теми запросами, которые поступали к нам от бизнес-сообщества наших стран. При этом приоритетное внимание уделялось гармоничному интегрированию в нашу работу представителей новых государств, членов БРИКС. Кульминацией нашей повестки стал состоявшийся 18 октября сего года в Москве масштабный деловой форум БРИКС, в котором приняли участие свыше 1000 представителей предпринимательского сообщества стран объединения. Работа велась в рамках 4 панельных сессий, которые охватили практически все актуальные сферы делового сотрудничества. В рамках форума также состоялись награждения лауреатов международного конкурса лучших практик БРИКС и конкурса женских стартапов БРИКС. Основные итоги форума и предложения, выработанные деловым советом БРИКС, легли в основу годового отчета, который представляем на ваше рассмотрение в соответствии с установленным порядком как основной итог нашей работы за год. В этот документ мы включили 46 рекомендаций по дальнейшему развитию сотрудничества в разрезе следующих основных направлений: инфраструктура, транспорт и логистика, финансовые услуги и инвестиции, сельское хозяйство, торговля, международная кооперация, цифровая экономика и искусственный интеллект, энергетика, зеленая экономика и климат, авиация и промышленность, профессиональная подготовка кадров. Учитывая высокую значимость развития транспорта в качестве первостепенного условия для расширения международной торговли, большое внимание в работе Совета уделялось вопросам укрепления транспортно-логистической взаимосвязанности, развитию международных транспортных коридоров, выработке современных интермодальных логистических решений, созданию бесшовной транспортной инфраструктуры. Второй приоритетный блок вопросов, составивший ядро повестки делового совета в текущем году, связан с формированием устойчивой финансовой системы БРИКС. В этой связи большое внимание уделялось разработке в рамках БРИКС новых механизмов международных расчетов, платежных сервисов, составления кредитных рейтингов БРИКС, а также вопросам развития кооперации страховых коопераций. Третье приоритетное направление, над которым работал Деловой совет БРИКС в течение года, это развитие цифровой экономики, а также сотрудничество в области искусственного интеллекта. В этом контексте усилия Делового совета были направлены на продвижение инициатив, способствующих созданию единой цифровой инфраструктуры, совместному использованию биометрических систем идентификации, развитию информационной безопасности и цифровой инклюзивности. Кроме того, важное место в повестке делового совета занимали вопросы повышения уровня продовольственной безопасности, сотрудничества в области инвестиций, устойчивого развития, а также обеспечения технологического суверенитета БРИКС. Уважаемый Владимир Владимирович, уважаемые главы государств и правительств, сегодня в условиях существующих политических и экономических трансформаций мы по-прежнему видим серьезное стремление деловых кругов стран БРИКС к дальнейшим совместным действиям по выстраиванию и углублению деловых контактов, поиску новых драйверов экономического роста, на благо укрепления связи между нашими странами, повышению качества жизни и благополучия граждан государств-членов БРИКС. Исходя из опыта работы делового совета в этом году, можно с уверенностью сказать, что бизнес-сообщество БРИКС, торговые и промышленные палаты, комитеты развития и международной торговли, отраслевые союзы и ассоциации предпринимателей, фирмы и компании готовы к конструктивной работе по совершенствованию мирохозяйственных связей в целях справедливого и взаимовыгодного сотрудничества. В заключение хотел бы сказать, уважаемый Владимир Владимирович, уважаемые главы государств и правительств, что деловой совет БРИКС нацелен и в дальнейшем всецело содействовать развитию и реализации потенциала экономического сотрудничества объединения, руководствуясь принципами преемственности, открытости, взаимного доверия, уважения и учета интересов каждой стороны. Благодарю вас за внимание.
Большое спасибо. Недавно, знаете, в Москве выступал перед членами делового совета. Мне показалось, что все предприниматели нашей страны настроены на активную совместную работу, на прямые контакты между собой. Будем всячески этому содействовать. Пожалуйста, слово председателю механизма межбанковского сотрудничества БРИКС.
Уважаемые лидеры, дамы и господа, уважаемый Владимир Владимирович, банки развития призваны содействовать правительствам и народам преодолевать вызовы, двигаясь по пути более справедливому миру. Признанный нашим партнером механизму межбанковского сотрудничества БРИКС, мы признательны за активную совместную содержательную работу под председательством ВПРФ. Среди тем, которые отрабатывались с членами механизма, назову основные. Это торговое финансирование национальных валют, инновационные механизмы финансирования инфраструктурных проектов, в частности, так называемое смешанное финансирование, формирование добровольных рынков углеродных единиц стран-членов объединения БРИКС и взаимодействие с институтами финансирования и развития, в первую очередь, с Новым банком развития. Как сегодня уже неоднократно говорилось в рамках делового форума, Владимир Владимирович, вами подчеркнуто было, что экономики объединения в обозримой перспективе будут генерировать основной прирост глобального ВВП. Конечно, это требует собственной платформы развития, включая сильную и не подверженную влиянию извне финансовую систему. Особая роль в укреплении нашего финансового сотрудничества здесь принадлежит Новому банку развития. Об этом тоже сегодня говорилось. Этот банк также принял участие в мероприятиях механизма межбанковского сотрудничества. Мы готовы работать над дальнейшим углублением как многосторонних, так и двусторонних связей с партнерами финансовых институтов. Мы с партнерами согласовали обновленное рамочное соглашение о сотрудничестве, а также совместно с Китаем и ЮАР подписали соглашение о кредитных линиях национальных валют. Ожидаем, что к этому документу присоединятся Бразилия и Индия. Кроме того, мы начали работу по расширению формата за счет номинации организаций из новых государств БРИКС. К сожалению, в настоящий момент только Иран представил Мидбанк, один из сильнейших банков РАН, чтобы принимал участие в этом формате. Позвольте обратиться к лидерам стран новых членов БРИКС с тем, чтобы такие организации были номинированы в возможно короткие сроки для того, чтобы механизм работал в полном объеме, особенно в год председательства Бразилии. Обмен опытом между банками и членами ММС БРИКС в сфере организации смешанного финансирования оказался в центре нашей работы. ВПРФ представил свой основной продукт, это программа фабрики проектного финансирования. Полагаем, что обмен практиками смешанного финансирования, когда используются различные источники фондирования, улучшит перспективы реализации членами механизма совместных проектов в многостороннем формате. Масштаб стоящих перед нами задач четко указывает на то, что нам необходимо иметь усилия для реализации прежде всего трансграничных проектов в таких сферах, как транспортная инфраструктура и высокотехнологичная промышленность.
Together with the Russian Ministry of Economic Development, we plan to work on the tools to evaluate the quality of life and efficiency of projects in the area of public-private partnerships at the BRICS level. The work on the public-private partnerships is the traditional mandate of development banks in the world. As part of our group, we could consider the exchange of best practices as well as the expansion of the PPP projects with the involvement of business from friendly states and the multilateral and member states development banks. This work could also be conducted under the leadership of the new development bank. An important part of the BRICS agenda is the issue of sustainable development and in particular the joint realization of projects aimed at helping national economies adapt to climate change. And all the members of the mechanism stand united in their understanding that carbon neutrality cannot go against other priorities of sustainable development, namely the quality of life, energy and food security, water availability and inclusive education. As the main institute of finance within Russia, we promote carbon neutrality together with our partners and hope for broad cooperation with other financing institutes and development institutes of BRICS+. The countries of the group have great capacity to implement national mineral projects and resource projects, since we are the producers and the consumers of these resources. This opens great promises and prospects for the carbon unit market. In order to do so, we need to establish this market, establish the rules of procedure. During the chairmanship, we only made the first step in this direction. We stand ready to continue such cooperation, including during the upcoming COP29 conference in Azerbaijan. WebRF stands ready to expand cooperation as part of the BRICS IBM, and we have accumulated significant experience in modern economy, city economy, the building of schools, modernizing city transportation, energy sites, water supply, and utilities. We stand ready to share our experience and expertise with our partners. To conclude, I would like to welcome the Brazilian Development Bank, BNDES, as the chair of the BRICS ICM in 2025. We stand ready to provide comprehensive support to the BNDES as part of its chairmanship. Thank you.
We wish you success. Thank you for your work. It's one of the most important areas of our activities. Banks, actually, is blood for world economy. National economies. Once again, thank you for your work and success to our Brazilian partners. And now I pass the floor to the chair of the Women's Business Alliance. Madam Nesterova, you have the floor. Dear Vladimir Vladimirovich, dear heads of states of BRICS, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to brief you about the main results of our alliance in the framework of Russian chairship. The alliance has been started in 2020. 4 years elapsed, and for this period of time, thanks to common efforts of national parties, it became an efficient mechanism of business cooperation between business women. The alliance includes industry, agriculture, finances, pharmaceutical sector, IT, and creative industries, as well as science. We have 6 sectorial working groups. During Russian chairship, we started ESG dialogue, which is aimed at implementation of joint initiative and projects. This year, one of our main tasks is to create comfort conditions for involving new country in our agenda. And our key project, Common Digital Alliance Platform, helped us. We started developing it back in 2021. This portal allows business women to get all the necessary information about the alliance, projects and initiatives, to mark their business interests and to develop direct business contacts with their country from our countries, and became part of business activities of BRICS. More than 2,000 business women from 30 countries are part of this alliance, and we started more than 1,000 women projects and initiatives. We organized the competition of women business startups, and which included more than 100,000 business women from 29 countries. The majority of requests had to do with highly technological innovative projects, and business women actually active in different areas. Just I quote a few examples. Iran, businesswomen, they developed a system of constant monitoring of glucose and innovative therapy on the basis of immune cells to fight cancer. They created smart spoons to relieve tremor. China, unique robotized hands for humanoid robots. Russia, progress software for analysis and interpretation of CT, MRT, etc. They developed technologies for online diagnostic of cardio monitoring. So the platform, Alliance platform, offers them the opportunity to scale up their best practices. We keep working with them because this is the basis for implementation of multilateral initiatives and projects. All these projects we included into digest, which reflects the results of this competition. The entrepreneurship of business women is diverse, but there are areas where ladies dominate. And first of all, in the social area, where they create more comfortable social environment. Alliance studied 10 countries of BRICS in the economy of care, patients' care, elders and disabled care. And as a result, we published a white book which is dealing with care economics, and where 100 best practices are reflected, how to eliminate administrative barriers for ladies, etc., etc. The document has been published on the Alliance platform. It could be updated, and we will keep working on that. At the same time, Alliance has published the report about the situation of ladies in BRICS. The report is published every year. It's the initiative of Chinese colleagues.
Наблюдаем высокий интерес зарубежных партнеров к выстраиванию сотрудничества с Альянсом и женским предпринимательством в сообществе BRICS. В ответ на него в прошлом году по инициативе наших южноафриканских друзей были открыты сформированы Центры женской делового альянса в Замбии, Зимбабве, Lesotho. В год российского председательства мы продолжили это начинание и запустили работу региональных офисов Альянса в Киргизской Республике, Республике Беларусь и Республике Казахстан. Уверены, что география таких представительств Альянса будет только расширяться. Их работа направлена в первую очередь на выстраивание партнерского взаимодействия с женщинами, предпринимателями стран, не входящих в БРИКС, поиск точек соприкосновения, главная возможность для реализации совместных проектов и инициатив. В духе преемственности продолжаем реализацию инициатив, запущенных в прошлом году. В частности, работаем над созданием сети центров трудовой и образовательной мобильности БРИКС. Первый центр был открыт в ЮАР в 2023 году. В этом году были открыты центры в Эфиопии и Индии. Отдельно с партнерами, в том числе и с Новым банком развития, обсуждается возможность создания фонда БРИКС по продвижению женских проектов. Женский бизнес — это, как правило, малый и средний бизнес, для которого вопросы финансирования и привлечения инвестиций
of them attracting investment for their development is an acute problem, and we hope to start to develop a toolbox which will allow such projects to get necessary financial support. There have been a lot of new initiatives this year. Among them, the initiative to create a platform for dialogue for ladies which are professional in legal area, development of new innovative pharmaceutical products, initiative to develop cooperation in preventive treatment of chronic non-infectional diseases, creation of media platform in the
В этом году состоялись традиционные для Альянса форматы встреч на полях. Форум женщин-предпринимательниц ВИ-форум в Бразилии, форум женского лидерства БРИКС в Китае, Петербургского международного экономического форума и Евразийского женского форума в России. Был запущен новый формат. В июне в Москве прошел первый форум женского предпринимательства БРИКС, где приняли участие свыше 400 делегатов из 30 стран. Все мероприятия Альянса проходили при активном участии представительниц не только 10 стран БРИКС, но и других государств. Всех участниц объединял интерес к нашей работе, повестке делового сотрудничества БРИКС и намерение добиваться конкретных бизнес-результатов. Мы стали свидетелями укрепления взаимодействия и выстраивания равного партнерского диалога между представителями стран-основательниц и новых членов БРИКС. Все итоги нашей работы и информацию о ключевых проектах мы объединили в годовом отчете Женского альянса, который имеем честь представить вам сегодня, уважаемые лидеры стран БРИКС. Увеличение числа женщин-предпринимателей, вовлечение их в международную деятельность – задача, которая всегда ставил перед собой деловой женский альянс БРИКС. И сегодня за этим названием, помимо 9 национальных частей, тысячи проектов, 2000 женщин-предпринимателей, объединенных общим интересом к работе БРИКС и БРИКС. Благодарю за внимание.
Спасибо большое. Я со своей стороны от имени коллег хочу поблагодарить вас за проделанную работу, и мы сделаем все для того, чтобы ваши наработки с женщинами-предпринимателями наших стран были реализованы. Надеюсь, что и бразильское председательство продолжит вашу работу. Теперь хочу обратиться к коллегам, если необходимость что-то дополнительно сказать или прокомментировать. Спасибо. Тогда позвольте мне сказать несколько слов в завершении нашей работы. Я еще раз хочу поблагодарить за очень содержательное выступление и активный заинтересованный разговор. Мы подробно обсудили приоритетные вопросы укрепления стратегического партнерства в рамках БРИКС, наметили перспективы дальнейшего сотрудничества, выступили с общих или созвучных позиций по большинству актуальных глобальных и региональных проблем. Принципиально важно, что все партнеры по БРИКС настроены на продолжение самой тесной совместной работы по формированию более демократической, инклюзивной и многополярной международной системы. Нас объединяет понимание того, что вместе мы способны реализовать самые амбициозные и по-настоящему масштабные проекты и инициативы. Весьма интересными были доклады руководителей финансовых и деловых структур. Россия, как сооснователь нового банка развития, выступает за дальнейшее наращивание его проектной деятельности как во всех, без исключения, странах-акционерах, так и государствах глобального Юга и Востока. Поддерживаем активную работу делового совета БРИКС, который в прикладном плане занимается развитием сотрудничества между крупным бизнесом, а также малыми и средними компаниями наших стран в сфере торговли, промышленности, сельского хозяйства, энергетики и транспорта. Важным считаем взаимодействие в рамках межбанковского механизма БРИКС, нацеленные на совместную поддержку социально значимых экономических проектов, программ регионального развития, инфраструктурного строительства. Актуальной задачей является стимулирование использования национальных валют для финансирования торговли и инвестиций. И, конечно же, наше общее одобрение деятельности делового
should be offered to the activities of Women's Business Alliance of BRICS, created to help the best part of our community in their business development and their contacts and future-oriented activities. In general, this year, the cooperation, thanks to cooperation in BRICS, we get serious results in all three most important areas: in politics, security, economics, finances, culture, and humanitarian contacts. And it's a good groundwork for the future. Well, the final declaration is ready for our adoption, and declaration reflects our general evaluation of the situation in the world, results of Russian chairship in BRICS, and future-oriented areas for our cooperation are also determined. Colleagues, any comments, any addition to this declaration? If not, then I propose to adopt this declaration. The declaration is adopted. And I'd like to mention that we are planning to distribute this document in the UN as our common document, as it was mentioned, starting from next January. Brazil will assume the chairmanship rights, and I'm sure that Brazil chairship will be based on continuity and will enrich our cooperation with new interesting initiatives and ideas, and we will support our Brazilian friends. And at the end, I'd like to thank you for constructive and productive joint work, and to declare our meeting of BRICS Summit in the expanded fashion concluded. Tomorrow we will have outreach BRICS Plus, and we will discuss important issues of interaction between our group and other countries of the world majority. And this evening I invite you to the reception, and delegations which came for tomorrow's meeting are invited there also. And the time before reception we will use for our bilateral meetings. Once again, thank you for your joint work. Thank you.
We are listening to the speeches of the leaders and heads of states attending the 16th BRICS Summit in Russia. In this sense, the Ethiopian leader called for a stronger economic cooperation, while the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a review of some of the most important achievements of the bloc in recent years. For his part, the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, made reference to reinforcing the financing of the member countries of the bloc. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, for his part, mentioned the commitment to work together in the BRICS family to address the problems of the Global South. In addition to referring to the challenges posed by climate change, Ramaphosa also recognized Dilma Rousseff's work as president of the new BRICS Development Bank. In this context, the president of the new BRICS Development Bank, Dilma Rousseff, in her statements referred to the situation in the Middle East and the use of the US dollar as a weapon in these countries. Rousseff also assured that more than 100 projects have been financed from the new BRICS Development Bank in benefit of the peoples of the Global South. We will keep you informed about this and other news in upcoming emissions. Stay tuned with From the South.